This is my first FMP screen recording for the month of April. The track I have here is a trap track which I made in Logic X. My main influence from the track is from another song by an artist called Rico Squeeze. I'll give you a listen to that song. Pick your hair and I track you on with some normal shoes. Like, look at these dudes, tight jeans and they force and lose. Talk on me is smoky when I came in the room. Nigga, I ain't no normal dude. Know this. I got bad habits and I'm trying to. One thing I instantly liked about this track was the piano and the brass. I tried to implement this in my track also, obviously without copying it entirely. I'll give you a listen to the brass. It's kind of got the same sound, same kind of feel. This is the piano I put in it. Kind of the same kind of feel, but not completely copied. But this is what I started building my track around. The next instrument I added was a choir from Alchemy, and it sounds like this. To this channel I added a slight EQ and a slight bit of reverb using silver reverb. The next instrument I added was like a longer version of the sound before. It was kind of much louder and much better. To this one I've added a compressor, a stereo delay, a space designer, and I've cut some of the lows out using the EQ to make sure that it doesn't mess with the lower frequency sounds, so I've kept it clean. Right, after that I added the brass and sounds like this. Right, sorry about system overload. The next instrument I added was a piano, just to kind of give it a bit of swing, a bit of urgency. Very subtle, but can be heard. I'm going to unsolo some of these. Right, the next instrument I added after that were the drums. Some of the drums are, well, they're quite similar because there's not really much you can do with trap, but I did what I did. As you can hear, it kind of has the same aggression, same feel as the Rico Squeeze track. Just the kick. To the kick I added an EQ. I slightly removed the lower frequencies and boosted like about 200 Hz to add a bit more punch. The next instrument I added was, I think it was another kick, but I've used the velocities to my advantage. I've almost like did a smooth slope, so it's almost like a fading in type of kick, and it gives this kind of effect. Kind of a smoother effect. The next thing I added after that was the 808, which sounds, it's how an 808 sounds, very distorted but very mean. Gives it that again, an aggressive side. Then I think next was the clap, very sharp. To the 808 I also cut some of the higher frequencies so it didn't mess with that at all, so it was just pure bass. With the clap I did the complete opposite, which is cut the lower frequency so it didn't mess with the bass, so it had loads of space. I also put a compressor on this to make it more solid, to make it more of like a hard hitting like clap rather than just a softer clap. After that I put some other claps just to put under it, some snares, just to give it some swing, give it some like realism. Sorry about system overload again. And after that, I then added the hi-hats. So the hi-hats, I added another stereo delay, and as I did before, I cut the low end and added a bit of reverb just to give it a bit of space. And I think this, it adds a different element to the track, rather than like just everything going straight down the stereo. It's a bit of like a bit of panning and a bit of difference. The next, I added just a normal hi-hat like roll just to give it like some groove, just like to ride it along. A few triplets and such. Like the next instrument I then added was my pitched hat, which again gives it a trappy feel. And then lastly, I added a crash. But with this crash, what I did was I have two versions of it, and one version I've reversed, so it kind of gives like a swishing kind of feel. It feels like it's like the track gets to like a heavier point, I guess. Like it seems like everything is rushing towards the end of the bar. You know what I mean? I guess. And really, that's all I had. Actually, I have a piano here as well. I think this is a piano. I'll just play the piano by itself. It's kind of blended well with the track, and all of the instruments were playing. Oh, if it would play. But after that, the next instrument I added was the strings. I just thought I'd add this because it gave it another like groovy feel, and it helped just bring the track together and fill some of the empty space. The next and I think last instrument I added was the pulse wide fifths. I just played a long sustained note on this, and it just gave me like a screechy kind of like sound over the top, which really added to the aggressive feel that I was looking to get from this track. But yeah, that's pretty much the track. If it will play, it will play. Sounds very aggressive. It's definitely what I was looking for. See how the hi-hats add a different dynamic to the track. But yeah, that's pretty much my